Well, no matter where you live, it's probably pretty cold where you're watching this video. And it's one of the reasons why people think about moving or leaving in the winter and living elsewhere. Today, we're talking about snowbirds. What motivates people to live this lifestyle? And is it worth it? We'll explain next. Welcome into Retirement Reality. I'm Ben George with Mike Pointon at Principal Preservation Services. Mike, let's just set the stage for this conversation. What is the temperature right now in Minnesota where you are recording this?
Right now, it is 7 below zero without the wind chill, and it's windy. So I think we're like 20 below zero with the wind chill right now. So it's not pleasant. It's the time of year we dread to get through. We just got to fight through January, February, get into some okay temperatures, hopefully in March.
It's that kind of weather, and you tell me a story. You took a trip out west to go skiing, and you got there, and it actually felt more comfortable than it was when you left.
Yeah, it was a group trip here, and some people came from Florida and California, Arizona, and they say how cold it was. It was 25 degrees. I'm like, this is 35 degrees warmer than it was when I left that morning to get to the airport. So it's all in perspective, right? Everybody is used to it. I said, the good thing is we already changed we had an oil change already roughly. So our blood is already used to this temperature, so we can handle colder temperatures better. Some of the people come from Florida, they're still on that summer blend oil change. They haven't get it flushed out yet.
I've never heard it described that way, but it makes perfect sense because from what you've kind of been through a week or two, that cold weather, your body adjusts pretty quickly to it. So that's interesting. Let's talk about snowbirds then, because I know, being there in Minnesota and working with people in Minnesota and Wisconsin as well, there's a lot of people in that area that decide, in the Midwest in general, just decide, hey, I want to live somewhere else. So how common is it for people that you work with, Mike? And what are some of the places that they choose to live if they decide to live this lifestyle?
It's getting to be more common. And especially with all these long-term rental options, it's getting to be easier and easier than it used to be. I think 2024, we had 3 of our clients purchase homes in Florida alone. But there's many others who are just getting away for a couple months. It's getting to be even more common. People doing RVing, where they're going to just maybe, hunker down for 3 to 4 weeks in one location, or 2-3 weeks in another location, and get to find out the areas they want to be at. Interesting enough, we even have those people who are RVing. You can become a resident of South Dakota. Now we're talking about financial taxes here, but you can become a resident of South Dakota and spend 1 day a year in South Dakota, and now you're a resident of South Dakota, you're zero state income taxes. It's great for those people who RV, and now they can be all over the country and just have to spend 1 day in South Dakota to become a resident and avoid all income taxes for the state level.
Yeah, that's a nice perk. When people do choose this lifestyle, Mike, do you see them practicing it? I guess maybe practice is not the right word, but at least like trying out that lifestyle or locations before they get to retirement. Is this something that they work through beforehand, or do they get into retirement and say, you know what, I'm done with this cold weather for good. Let me go explore somewhere else.
What I have noticed, what happened last year, people bought on a whim, and so to speak. So a couple of occasions they went down for vacation, decided to look at homes, and came back and said, I'm buying this house. I already did a purchase agreement, which, again, they were in good spots. They could do that, and that gave them we've already been doing planning. So that wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know that was going to happen. But reality is, one situation, they're just on vacation. Family member bought a house down there. They thought that was a good idea as well, so they bought one in Florida. Another situation is because all the work at home decided, you know what, I can do it from here. And I don't like this cold weather. The older we get, the harder it is to deal with this, 0, 10, 20 below zero weather for roughly 3-4 weeks a year in the wintertime. So it's getting to be more common. I would say less people have done planning for it. I'm not saying we didn't do planning before and we didn't plan for that. Because we did the planning, they gave them the confidence to move forward.
All right, let's talk about planning a little bit here. And again, just a reminder, if you want to discuss the potential for living elsewhere in retirement and what that looks like for you and what your needs are to make that happen, again, you can text the word retire to 21,000 in order to set up your initial call to begin talking through how to build out your retirement reality roadmap. Again, text the word retire to 21,000. So let's talk planning a little bit then, Mike. What are some of the things you need to consider? If I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to leave Minnesota for a little bit during these winter months and explore somewhere else, live somewhere else, what are some things I need to be thinking about?
Well, if you're doing it for a tax benefit, you want to make sure it's, besides like South Dakota, their unique rule is you have to spend 6 months in a day to qualify for that tax benefit. And that's where a lot of people are looking for, I want to get away, but also I want to become, be subject to lower taxes. Like the state of Minnesota, the average income tax is about 7.5% on average. So when you're looking there to Florida or Arizona or Texas or even Tennessee is getting to be popular. So that's the big thing, to make sure you're going to spend 6 months in a day. And the other thing is, are you going to buy or are you going to rent? I think there's a lot of responsibility and a lot of additional costs that will come to owning. And I think the easy thing is, come in and leave and worry about going maybe somewhere else next year. And you're not subject to, the hurricanes of Florida, the damage, the cleanup, getting on flights to go take care of things. And you don't have maybe the knowledge of who are all the, carpenters or contractors or for all the cleanup and repairs on that property. It's nice to just come home and not worry about any repairs, any maintenance whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely some things to be thinking about. So what's your role, Mike, then, as a financial advisor when someone's deciding between this? What role do you play with your clients to help them determine whether or not they want to be snowbirds?
Yeah, I think talking about what we just talked about sometimes as a counselor, trying to get them off of that, that Willy Wonka kind of mentality. They've already, I think a lot of people made that decision in their mind that that's what they're going to do. It's really trying to help them find out where those funds are coming from. Right? Because a lot of them come to my office thinking, I'm going to take out, $100,000 out of my IRA for a down payment. And I'm like, boy, at this tax rate, you're going to take out roughly $140,000 to get your $100,000. And they're not understanding the taxes that haven't been paid on your IRAs yet. So you have to pay taxes when you take withdrawals out. And if you're already at a certain tax bracket, it might bump you into that next bracket, and not just for your your IRA withdrawals, but now your Social Security might have been tax-free, or it might have just been partially taxed. Now you have to pay taxes on Social Security up to the maximum, and they didn't think about that. So that's usually the role, obviously, as the advisor, is showing them what is going to be the best account to take that withdrawal out for that down payment.
And that's really, truly the whole reason you plan, right, Mike, is to take out the guesswork, to make sure you understand exactly what your future could look like and what you need to do, what you can do, what you can't do, and what adjustments need to be made. So it's no different for living a snowbird lifestyle either, right? You want to see exactly what that's going to be, what it means to you financially, and whether or not it's actually going to work and whether or not it's worthwhile. So if you want to begin that planning, want to build out your retirement reality roadmap, text retire to 21,000, begin that process now, or just visit principalpreservationservices.com. You can learn more about what Mike and the team do there with offices there in Minnesota and Wisconsin, whatever's most convenient for you. They help people all over the states and in the region as well. So hopefully this video helps you out a little bit. I know everybody's thinking about being a snowbird right now, and can't blame you. Right. So Mike, appreciate your time as always, and thanks for watching Retirement Reality.
Yeah, thanks, Ben, and get your planning done so you know if you can be a snowbird or not.
Investment advisory services offered through Alpha Star Capital Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of the firm by the Commission, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Alpha Star, Principal Preservation Services, LLC, and Principal Wealth Services, LLC are separate and independent entities. Insurance products are offered through Principal Preservation Services, LLC, a Minnesota and Wisconsin insurance agency. Investment advice is offered through Principal Wealth Services, LLC. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products offered by Principal Preservation Services, LLC. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company and are not offered or guaranteed by Alpha Star.